With that said, let's get our guest speaker up here. This young man, I can't wait for him to finish up this series that he's talking about. And today is the end of the month. I mean, my God, what a way to end the first 6 months of the year with him as our guest speaker. Woo, look at God. With that said, let me tell you a little bit about him. For those that don't know him, he loves his mother dearly. He's a boy. He's a great father to his son. He's a community leader. He's also a Yoda when it comes to health, wealth, and wisdom. He's also built a huge organization. And I tell you something, his promotion to senior vice president was the best by far, hands down. Anytime you get Marvin Sachs on there and Les Brown on the same stage, and the co-founders sitting on after their chair, they didn't know what to think or say, and they were crying too. Man, if y'all haven't seen it, go on YouTube and watch Mr. Byron Nelson's promotion to SVP. It'll blow you away. Make sure you wear some clean socks because it'll blow them away. Without further ado, my dear friend, Dr. SVP, Mr. Byron Nelson.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm excited to just be alive. That's the main thing. Man, it is just an amazing. I was thinking about the call this morning as far as just being able to share. More than anything else, I was just excited about being here with you, Mr. Thomas. And that's the main thing in regards to just, I thought about, we have how many days before the next event? 113 days. You know what you could do in 113 days? Oh my God, that is amazing. I want to talk about goals more than anything else and really being able to stretch yourself. And for those who are taking copious notes, it's not just goals, it's really understanding how to, a lot of people tell you that you need to set goals. The challenge in setting goals is a lot of people don't know how to hit goals. Does that make sense? You guys with me on that? People set goals all the time, but the goal is understanding how the game of life works. And this is applicable to our business and every business and anything that you do. You have the titles and the positions and the infrastructure and the compensation plan and everything put in front of you. And people spend more time fear of losing themselves in hitting positions than they do in understanding how to run a business. If you understand how to run a business and you take the time to understand that everything, it's unfortunate that when you do plug into a compensation plan, when you do plug into a company, when you do plug into a system, it's almost disabling. And I'm gonna tell you why it's disabling. Because you didn't create it. And because you didn't create it, it falls into a category of what I share in regards to when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me on that so far? Let me give you an example. If you had to create the compensation plan, you would by default become the example and hit the top of the compensation plan. That's what Greg, that's what Mike, that's what Tony, that's what Robert, all of them did. They started at the beginning of the compensation plan. If you actually had to create it, you would actually run through it yourself and know that it was achievable. That's number one. Number two, you would also understand how to tweak it. You would also understand the loopholes in it. You would also understand the parameters. You would also understand the power of events to be able to build into it in order to leverage your time. So you hear, Dr. Thomas talking about 113 days. You're talking about the next event. You would also have to fill it up yourself. You'd also have to get the sound system. You'd also have to be in charge of the lighting. You'd also have to call and rent the event, meaning the actual venue. See, when you have to put all of that in place, you will put everything behind it because you have so much at stake for it to actually work. And it puts a new person coming into the business at a disadvantage because they don't have to do any of that. Because they don't have to do any of that. The only thing they're worried about is potentially getting their own ticket to fly there, potentially only getting a room to stay at an event, potentially only having to get themselves and 1 or 2 people there. Now, I want you to imagine if you put on an event, how would you feel if you were the only person there with 3 of your family members for a venue that would hold 5,000 people, 10,000 people? You did everything you needed to. You had to drop your car down. You knew that there was penalties at the hotel that if you did not fill up 200 rooms, let alone 2,000 rooms, that you were going to be charged a minimum of the first day stay for everybody who didn't show up. You had a contract. I mean, is anybody getting this conversation? You guys follow what I'm saying? Until you take on, I mean, and that's the challenge of understanding, building, and this is what I call finding your voice. You might want to write that down. What I'm sharing with you and what I'm teaching you is how to find your voice. Because when you find your voice, your conversation will shift. There's a paradigm in your conversation. You become more urgent. What most people are operating is out of duress or emergency. You're acting like you're going to a vacation. Like all you got to do is make sure the dog is taken care of, make sure that your bills are taken care of, make sure your bag is packed, and you're going to a venue for a vacation. It's not a vacation until you learn how to fill up an event, a Zoom. You start with many events like this Zoom. How many people do you have on this call? You know why you don't have a whole lot of people on the call? Because you don't have to host the call. That's what it comes down to. You know why you're just coming into getting this information? Because you didn't have to get up and prep yourself to know what to talk about in this conversation. I'm giving you a whole lot here. Boy, I hope somebody catches this morning. It's called finding your voice and shifting from an employee mentality to an employer mentality. And until you take an ownership mentality and you can actually be called on at any point in time to replace the CEO or replace Al Thomas or replace myself or Greg or any voice that's already in existence, until you're practicing within that realm, you can never make any money. You'll never make any money. You can drop me in the middle of the Antarctic or any country that we do business or any place that I do transactional business, for any business that I do, and I'm never going to feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to ever feel like, oh my God, I have to talk to a whole bunch of Colombians today. Oh my God, I have to talk to a whole bunch of people from Mexico today. Oh my God, I got to talk to the entire Japanese marketplace today. Oh Jesus, what are you talking about? I got to talk to, I'm not understanding. You want to launch, you aren't going to make it to Italy today. You aren't going to make it to Spain, Great Britain, Germany, Sweden, Holland, Netherlands, Norway, Canada, Austria, Italy, Spain, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. You may say, well, where did you get those countries? We're in all those countries. I get paid in every currency. There's not a currency that we are placed in that I have not spoken and that I do not get paid. There's not one place that I just said. And until you have a global mentality, understanding how to disseminate the information, break it down, share it in a concise, listen, you might want to write this down, until you can share your opportunity in a concise, digestible, communicable way, that any and everyone understands. I don't have to worry about what my check is going to look like when I put in the work. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to take off my Monopoly glasses because these glasses came from the man that has the hat. Maybe you've seen them before. I play Monopoly with life. I win the game every freaking day. Let me just repeat what I'm sharing. You must be able to communicate your message so succinctly and so powerfully that you never have to worry about what your check looks like at the end of any given day, week, or month. If you put in the work and you put up 7 bricks, and then you put up another 10 bricks, and then you put up another 20 bricks, if people see you actually building something worthy of having equity in, you'll find 2 people who will jump in and start helping you build that wall. And they're going to see 3 people. And because most people, listen, Linda, because most people don't live in purpose, they're looking for work. How many people you think are out there filling out applications for a job today? How many people you think are filling out resumes today? How many people you think are looking for opportunity today? In the most fragile marketplace of the world, an economy that is failing everybody, how many people you think are filling out apps to be able to take out a loan, or they're trying to refinance their house, that are attempting to put their kids through school, that are trying to help a parent that is ailing, that is a single parent trying to figure out how am I going to make sure my child is okay? At whatever cost and sacrifice of myself, I need to make sure that my family is okay. I want you to just think about that. There's no shortage of prospects. There's shortage of people doing something intentionally and on purpose that actually show value. To say, you're doing this for your child? I'm going somewhere with this. Listen. How many people can't pay for their health care? How many people can't pay for their mother, their father, their son, their child? How many people are struggling to pay their rent? How many people are working 2 and 3 jobs? What did I say in the beginning of this? There's 2 things here. We're talking about goals and we're talking about finding your voice. Finding my voice means that if I'm a single parent or I have kids, look, so what are you doing? What I'm doing is I'm building for my child's education. What if I told you I had a program that was specifically designed to pay for your child's education, and they would not have to worry about loans and for scholarships or the student debt that they usually carry for up until 35, 40 years old? What if I could show you a program that could get them, all the healthcare and everything that they needed without worrying about if, as this economy is moving into, ICs, which is independent contractors, specifically so they don't have to pay you on the insurance. Companies today, as opposed to 10 years ago, they don't want to cover your insurance. Everything is being outsourced as an independent contractor. So what if I could tell you that I can have your insurance, your life insurance and your health insurance covered? There's a program that allows you to position yourself within 24 months to not ever have to worry about being employed by somebody, and all of the healthcare and all of your life insurance and all your child's education is paid for. What if you zoned in on just that, considering we have healthcare? What if you zoned in on just the fact that you're a single parent and you have to pay for your child? You have no idea. Do you understand what it costs to put a child through college today? First, you got to figure out if they can get in. Let me tell you, my niece has a 4.5. And they put her on the wait list at Duke. And my sister is one of the highest donors, and the highest donor who donates millions wrote her letter of recommendation, and they still waitlisted her. And then it's still going to cost in excess of $100,000 per year just to go for the next 4 years at Duke and at Harvard, where her father went and graduated top of his class. She has a 4.5. Do you know what it costs to get her that 4.5? Her high school for the last 4 years cost $60,000 a year. And because she was not a president of a specific club and played sports, she did the intern. They don't just judge you in school today based on your GPA. You have to do interns. You have to have, and she did interns at my best friend, who owns 3 veterinarian offices, to the 3 top of the veterinary offices in all of Southern California. He's a 3rd generation veterinarian, here, who's known all over the world. She played tennis, but because she did not go and become the tennis captain, she participated in organizations, but because she didn't want to be the president, because she decided to just focus on her grades instead of her interpersonal skill set. That interpersonal skill set and your contribution to society is now in excess of 40% of judgment of where you get into to the highest schools. And then we come to find out, as we all know, 90% of the people that get a degree never practice in what they got their degree in. Now that's crazy. 90% of the people that get a degree never practice in what they got their degree in. 9 out of 10 people will not use the education they go to school for. And here I have a niece who is fighting to get into an institution that's broken, not understanding the wealthiest people that walk this planet all dropped out of college. You know what? The people that dropped out of college, like myself, Al, and many of us, and Mark Zuckerberg, and every person has become great. What we mastered? Employing everybody that finished college. We mastered developing relationships with people, forging relationships with people, caring about people, developing people. Call me a janitor and send me $1 million a day. I'll call you CEO. I'll call you doctor, JD, MBA, PhD, Juris Doctorate, sir, ma'am. How you doing, Byron? I'm doing great, sir. And I'm gonna take me $1 million home a day. Now, what's crazy about that, as many of you think $1 million a day sounds good. That's not even $365 a year. That's not even $1 billion. What's my point? Billion is the new million. It used to sound sexy to say that you had $1 million. But have you looked? They're signing people for literally $20 and $30 million contracts for 1 year playing sports. At the age of 18 and 19, these kids are walking into bigger endorsements deals than the players that ever played in their lifetime. Now, if I'm gonna pay a kid $20 million to play basketball, how much money does the guy who wrote the check have? I mean, that's the way I think. I don't know about you guys. It's just the way I think. Everybody's in awe of, oh my God, he got a $100 million contract. He got a $50, he making 20 million. He got $20 million a year. I am so unimpressed with that. I want to know who's writing his check and how did you get that? You're profiling the person who's getting the check, but the person who's writing the check is nowhere to be seen. Nobody knows what he looks like. And at what time did you minimize your thought process to think that it's okay for you just to hit a position or struggle and be able to generate, 80, 90, $100,000 a year? I'm going somewhere. I hope you guys are getting this as far as, because I said, what? This is about goals and finding your voice. The voice you need to find is within. I know the pain of not having. I understand your pain of being in a season where you feel like all the walls are caving in on you. I understand the pain of feeling like you don't know how God's going to provide the next meal. I understand the pain of not knowing how you're going to be able to take care of your bills. I understand that, but I can also tell you, I also understand the magic of what God has placed in every one of us, that everything is a season. There is a season for everything. And you have to go through that season in order to appreciate what you have when you have the ability to go out there and get the massive abundance that you deserve. You are deserve it. You are owed it. It is yours, but it is not going to be given to you. You're going to have to fight like hell, and you're going to have to fight the devil inside of you, not the people around you. You're fighting the people around you, not understanding you're fighting the wrong war. That was never your freaking war. They were put there as a distraction to take you off of your purpose and your calling. Your purpose and your calling, when done properly, God will bring you everybody else that you need. But because you're focused on what other people are not doing for you, what other circumstances are not showing up for you, the problem that you have in the scarcity of, I just don't have in this small, medium, guppy mindset that you have, because you have this giant of a shark living inside of you, but you're living inside of an aquarium that you created for yourself, not understanding there's an ocean out there for you, and that there's so many places to eat, but you need to get up off your ass and go swim to another water. Stop swimming in the same water that you're sitting in. Stop thinking the same thoughts. Everything you have, if I say Nike, you say just do it. Did you think that was an accident? That is a behavioral pattern. That's a psychological pattern. If you're still living in your mama's conversation, your daddy's conversation, your own conversation, you're having the wrong conversation. I'm sorry. That was God. That wasn't even me. I don't even know what. Shut up. No, that was my other me. We'd be having these conversations, and then we got to talk to God, Dad's daddy, come back down. You got to understand, you have to have a level of comprehension that supersedes what you see in front of you. You have to have a lens to know where you, not think, not hope, not pray. Get off your damn knees. He already is doing his work. You ain't got to talk to him no more. He already hears you. He sees you. He saw you before you were formed. He didn't see you before you were made. He saw you before you were formed, before you even a freaking thought, before you even got pregnant, before the seed was even planted, before the semen was even coming from the man that was even born, before the family. Before you were formed, it was already there. The plan was already put in play. And you sit up there majoring in minors. I have the best conversation when I talk to myself. I'm not talking to y'all. Y'all welcome to join in. When you set goals, you got to find your voice. You need to figure out the conversation you're having with yourself for the next 113 days. You need to have a conversation of, if that's the next thing, then what am I doing before? I mean, you still got a year left. What have you done from January 1st to, 6 months? You're at halftime. You're at the most perfect space of your life. You are exactly you don't have money to do this. You don't have money to do that. You're struggling. You got problems, you got challenges, mental, physical, financially. Your spirit is probably disaligned. You probably need to go see a spiritual chiropractor. You're welcome to come see me at any point in time. Whatever it is, you need to go get a realignment. This is halftime. This is June 30th. It's halftime. Whatever the last 2 quarters look like, whatever the first 2 quarters look like, I hope you got your ass beat. I hope you got beat down. I hope you got, like I did, just mopped all over the floor, because he gave you life to be able to get up again. He gave you life to go in and truly just, you should be in the locker room screaming. You should be in the bathroom. You should go see her. I mean, you just really. Do I have control of this? Where am I? I still got a good 10 minutes in here. Hold on one second. I need you to see somebody. Just.
I've always been told that I'm too small. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough. I don't have what it takes. To be the best and stay there, sweat is necessary. Walter and Jerry had their heels, never being comfortable with just good enough.
It's right now or never! It's right now or never!
I prepare so no one can take what is mine. No one can replace my mind, my heart. Lombardi inspired me. And now our biggest prize bears his name. I'm older. Of course I'm older. That's the beauty of it. 16 years plus. A different level of wisdom, different level of understanding, different level of punishment. I want to live long after my records have fallen, long after my rings have tarnished. And whatever you got to do to make sure you chase your legacy every second of your life. Will you be remembered? How would you be remembered? Why wouldn't you fight for the greatest achievement ever? Leave your mark.
How do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be remembered? How are you leaving your mark right now? There's not a soul that hears my voice that will ever forget me when they meet me. Not one person can ever meet me and somebody say, have you met Byron Nelson? Oh, he sounds familiar. I don't sound familiar to you. You either met me or you haven't. You either heard me or you didn't hear me. You either saw me or you didn't see me. There's no way on this planet Earth somebody can meet me and say, I'm not sure. He sounds like I've heard of him before. I either left my mark or you never met me. I'm not attached to a company. I'm not attached to a name. I'm not attached to a title. I'm not attached to a dollar bill. I'm not attached to anything but God and who the hell I am. You need to find your voice. Yeah, you're going to get hit. Yeah, you're going to fall down. Yeah, it's going to hurt. Yeah, life is going to come after you like a vice-like grip of just complete conformity. It's going to try and choke the shit out of you. I deal with it every day. I show up with a smile. Nobody knows what's behind my curtain. Nobody. And nobody knows what's behind your curtain. And it hurts. But is that a reason to play small? You see, if they're scared about talking about your opportunity, well, I'm scared about what they're going to think. Well, I've been shut down in this. Well, this opportunity, well, I hadn't told a whole bunch of people. There's 9 billion people on this planet. I'll never run out of a prospect list. There's more people I've never talked to than people I've talked to. Stop playing in a small pond, talking to people you know. Go find some people you don't know. Go make some new relationships. Go fall in love with yourself again. Stop looking for somebody else to motivate you and inspire you. Yes, we've been through drugs, we've been through alcohol, we've been through loss, we've been through divorces, we've been through stillborns, we've been through death, we've been through campaign bills, we've been through we've been through depression, we've been through the pandemic, we've been through. How many excuses do you need to get up off your ass and go to work? Not how many reasons do you have to stay suppressed, oppressed, and depressed? How many reasons do you have? What, you're too white, you're too black, all my friends are broke? That's a great reason to go get some new friends. Well, all my people are my people. Get you some new people. Well, you know, I brought these people. Stop. Stop. My name is Noah and there's an ark. I really don't care who gets on. There's a flood coming. If you haven't felt it yet, there's a flood that you need to get on the ark. Well, you told me the last time. I don't care what I told you last time. Don't really care if you take it this time. All you can do is say no to me. And when the flood hits you behind, just know that I came and told you. Yes, we done tried to build this ark 3, 4, 5 times and then broken down. Guess what I'm doing right now? I'm building a new ark. I'm gonna build a new ark. I'm gonna build a new ship. I'm gonna build a new ship. I'm gonna find the right wood. I'm gonna find the right wood, because the only person that doesn't find what they're looking for is the person who stops looking. I'm gonna keep building and I'm gonna keep building. And they're gonna tear, guess what? I'm gonna live in Florida and they're gonna sweep away my house and they're gonna tear up my roof. And it's what I'm gonna do. Just move. I'm gonna live on the dirt. I'm gonna live on the side of the road. Yes, I'm gonna live in Louisiana. And the dam's gonna break and everything's gonna happen. What you gonna do? Become homeless and just go become a junkie in the backyard? Yes, and I'm gonna live in Detroit. And yes, they're gonna shut down all the mills, all the code, all this, every car dealership, every industry. We're gonna shut down the entire industry, the entire machine of money that lives, the entire economy that runs the city. What are you gonna do? Just sit up there and freeze your ass off in the snow? What the hell are you gonna do? You were given life, the most beautiful thing God could ever give you. The only thing he did not take from man and woman was free will, the power of choice, the power of thought, to be able to do what no other person could do until your last freaking breath. Find your voice, set a goal, fail again, set the goal again, fail again, set the goal again. Fail again. You can't know how to win till you fail over and over and over and over and over. Stop living like a hermit, like nobody can see you. Stop living small. Find your freaking voice and yell from the highest mountain. If you keep yelling, there's somebody else who's looking for you, that needs you. You are defeating your purpose as a Homo sapien, as a human being, as a God gift to somebody by you sitting there being quiet, thinking that nobody is listening. Everybody is watching you, waiting for somebody to follow. It should be you. Get out the locker room and go start the third quarter. Reverse everything you saw in the first and second quarter and go win it. I'm done, Al. Love you, Mr. Thomas.